Okay, and what I have here is a fluorescent fixture thing that I'm going to be taking apart. I'm going to be taking it apart, showing you how to take it apart and all the cool stuff we find inside. So first you want to grab your screwdriver and start unscrewing screws. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, so there's some screws there. You can see the shadow. There's screws on the end, and there's like a chain. The screws go into the end, they screw this chain on, and they also screw the parts together. So there's the chain. I have to try to remove that screw from the chain, because I want them separate. Okay? Yeah. So there's those screws. These screws up top, actually, they don't unscrew. There's like a washer under there. It's just spinning, really. And those just hold the ballast inside. So those won't open it up. You have to do the ends. So I'm getting the ends off there. See, I got smart this time. And I'm separating the screws from the chain. Where is it? So there's the other chain. There's a chain on both sides. Extra chain. Alright, so now it opens up. And you can see what's inside. And there's a piece of plaster sitting there. Not supposed to be there. Okay, those are electrical windy thingies. Electrical connectors. Some wires. Then those are the things that come down and the fluorescent lights hook into there. And those are on with a washer, so it's kind of hard to get those out. There's like a washer in there. And if you can stick up pliers up there and hold onto the washer while you spin the screwdriver, that works better if you can. But it's kind of hard to do. Maybe you can do it. I don't know. So what it is, the framing is made of metal. It's just a steel framing. And there's the screw that I took out, holding the fluorescent terminal there. So it's basically just a couple transformers that was in there, some wires, and the electrical contacts for the fluorescent thing. But it takes some time to dismantle it into its individual parts if you want to scrap it. That's I don't know what that was. Oh, a screw, another screw. Okay, so unscrewing some more. Unscrewing the terminals on the other side now. There's 4 total. And there's actually like another light on there, I think. Like another terminal for some other kind of light. Like a screw-in bulb, I think. Can't remember. Yeah, on the other side, I think. Yeah. But you can probably see when you look at the frame thing. So there's the other screw and the bolt that goes in it. Whatever that's called. The nut. What's that? Okay, there's the other nut that goes on the screw. Getting those things off. Those terminals for the fluorescent thing. There's 4 total, I guess. Yeah. Okay. A lot of screwing action going on here. Get all that unscrewed. It's a little filthy, but not too bad. At least it's not greasy. It's just a little old. Yeah, the wires are old. They're like old wires. And there's electrical tape on them, some of them. Alright. So get all those unscrewed. Okay. Okay, so I got all the pieces off this first metal piece. Got everything off that first metal part there. Okay, now I'm pulling out what looks like a capacitor, I think. By the way, don't do this project, you know, because you'll get electrocuted and die. See, that's not the approved method of discharging a capacitor, to put your finger on there. I can do it though because I'm immune to electricity and I'm immortal and everything. You're not. You'll die if you do this. In fact, even watching the video is probably unsafe. But don't do it. Okay? You're not an expert, professional, ordained electrician like I am. Okay? So, you'll die if you do this. So don't do it. Okay? So now I am unscrewing something. Well, I'm unscrewing the wires from, see the screws that screw the wires into the terminals for these, the terminals for the fluorescent holder. Okay. Okay, so now I'm using a pliers and a screwdriver to try to get these things out because there's a nut holding the screw in. So that's how you get it out. Otherwise it'll just spin around and not unscrew. So I got that out. And those are holding on the two ballast transformers. So got one of them off. And I'm putting the nuts back on the screw. Okay, so I did the same thing, remove the other two screws, so now you get the two transfers. Here's the other piece of metal, just a piece of metal there, and you can see that bell-shaped thing where the, incandescent bulb or whatever goes in, the screw-in bulb, because I guess it had two kinds of lights on it, I'm guessing. Alright, and now I am taking apart one of the terminals that hook into the fluorescent light. I'm removing some screws, because there are screws that screw the wire on. And I think those screws are made of, possibly made of brass or copper. Not sure. But a lot of the electrical contacts in the fluorescent adapter, or whatever it's called, the fluorescent contact thing, are made of brass or copper. And so you have to sort of crack parts of it off. There's little screws holding it in, but they're kind of hard to unscrew. They're kind of small. I just pop off the, I pry underneath the plastic things and pop those off. And stuff. Take the needle nose pliers and grab at it with that. Okay, we got something off. Yeah, and you just have to tear off all the plastic parts, separate the little pieces, unscrew a few things. Okay, so I got some more pieces of brass or copper for the contacts, the electrical contacts that contact the fluorescent bulb terminals. And I have to pry those out from the plastic. There's some more. And that one's like welded to the screw, I guess. So that's not coming off. But I tried a little bit. So get all the little pieces of copper or brass or whatever that is. Okay, and now I'm taking out the little screws that were holding on the plastic plate. That was so hard to get off. Because I'm going to save those too. There's just little steel screws. And then what you'll have left when you get all those out of the, fluorescent light terminal, you'll just have a piece of plastic left. Because you'll separate it into the different parts. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm doing another one. It actually had two different types of connectors for the fluorescent light. Because I guess the two ends are different. This one's simpler. I think it just had two screws and a smaller number of electrical contacts. There's the plastic crap. Alright, so there is the transformer. I'm going to open it up real quick, show you what's inside. There's just metal curled over to hold it closed. And, alright, so I got it all open. And what you can see in there is nothing, really. It's just, there's like black goop in there to, I guess, insulate it or whatever. But it's just a transformer. Or something. Actually, it looks more like an inductor. It only has two wires, I think. Or, wait. Maybe it has four wires. No, I think it only has two. Two wires coming out of it. Okay, so let's look at the parts now that we got out of this. So first we got a pile of plastic junk. Two transformers, or maybe they're inductors or something. Ballasts. There's another picture of what they look like. There's only two wires coming out, so they're like inductors, I'd say. Okay, a pile of wires. Some steel scrap metal. Some chains and screws and nuts. A capacitor, a couple of capacitors, and a couple of wire connectors, or whatever those are called. Yeah, I think those are capacitors. And then a whole bunch of copper or brass connectors. And that's it. So, got some cool parts out of there that might be useful. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next videos, and do a thumbs up or whatever and stuff if you want.